I wanted to get your opinion on the idea of guys and girls keeping their options open when it comes to dating. I met my best friend's fiance's friend.
Okay.
So my best friend, her fiance, and his friend. Okay. At a dinner and enjoyed his company. So my friend set us up. We went on one date, hung out at his apartment one other time. We had another date set up, and he ended up canceling, but continued to ask me to hang out low key and nonstop texted me for a month, only to eventually say he's busy with work and that we need to go out again when his work settled down. I took that as he wasn't interested. I bumped into him a bunch of times this past year because of mutual friends and just said hello, but didn't engage too much because I felt I was somewhat rejected. A month ago, whole year after we dated, well, you went on one date.
Right.
He liked my Hinge picture and messaged me, so we had a catch-up conversation. Turns out he just moved away from where I live for a new job, but will spend the year coming back and forth. Since then, it's hard not to think about if we will ever hang out again. Since the first 2 times we hung out, we really clicked and had fun. Part of me is excited at the potential and wants to keep this option open. However, I know you often say if a guy is interested, then you won't be confused and he'll make an effort, etc. Right now, he doesn't even live here, so we can't physically hang out. But I wanted to know what you thought. Is it a negative thing that we are both keeping our options open? I assumed he messaged me just to catch up, and it's a total segue into the next time we will see each other, friends, wedding in October. But can I view that as a positive instead of a negative? He's just looking for an easy in. I could have asked him to catch up over the Hinge conversations, since he hadn't left the area yet, but I myself am keeping my options open. Looking forward to hearing from you. So, Marie, what do you think?
I don't know. I feel like I'm not good at stuff like this because I have so much pride that like when I feel like someone is disrespecting me or slighting me or trying to play me in the slightest, I shut it down. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm not that. I'm the opposite of this. So
that's sorry to interrupt, but what you said is very interesting. The whole, like, she might need a little more pride.
Right.
Yeah.
That. Because you disappear and then you see, my side boob on Hinge or whatever. You see me looking, radiant. And but she said he liked a picture. So when you like somebody's picture on Hinge, that doesn't mean that you sent them a message. That means you liked it and then she responded with words, right?
It's that seems to be the case. And even if that's not the case, I'm with you. I think this is like this has way more depth than she's giving it credit. She's saying, keeping our options open. I'm keeping them open too. Don't get me wrong. And it's like a false confidence thing. Yeah, we're both keeping our options open. But then she also writes that they clicked on 2 dates that they went on. And it's like, you're remembering the good that was like this much, a minuscule amount of good.
Yes.
To overlook like
that month or however much time that passed that he didn't even acknowledge you.
Yeah. And
he remembered you when he saw your profile, when he's talking to other people also on that same app.
Yeah. And also has this wedding coming up in October where he's like, I plan on being a sexually active man at the wedding. what a lot of guys do, and what this guy is doing, is he's collecting options. And he's not as invested. He's not going, man, we had some really good 2 dates.
No. He's literally, the only thing he's saying is he wasn't thinking about you at all. And then he saw you and he was like, oh yeah, she was cool. That's it. That's all he's saying is, oh, she was cool.
Sure.
And then you had a conversation, which we're all having now because no one has anywhere to be. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, oh, I'm going to see him in October. So what happens? You're going to bang him in October and then he's going to not be in the same city as you. And you're going long distance? Like, girl.
And then you're going to feel bad about it. Like, I think, like, the idea of, like, again, this kind of goes back to, like, you're looking for a match. You're not looking for, like, any guy. And for her, she's like, well, we're both keeping our options open. Well, Not really. You're getting kind of zoned in on this guy who isn't seeing it the same way as you. I think there's like for her, like, to me, when you go on a date with someone and it ends amicably, and then they kind of come back over the app or they run into you, that's them saying, I'd still hang out late night.
Yeah.
You know, like, still open a fuck.
Yeah, you up? That's what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, sis, you got to let this one go. And I agree with you in that she needs to have more pride, because, like, to me, that's disrespectful. You should want to hang out with me. You should see my Instagram and be like, yo, Marie. Like, you should be in my DMs every time I post a story. Like, that's how I feel about me. And I think that that's how more women should think about themselves.
Yeah, and I'm sure she has moments of that, and I'm sure, like, you know, like, this isn't to hammer her. Like, this is like, I'm sure she, like, we're all guilty of moments of going, man, was that the one? Did I not give it enough time? But in this reality, what you said is so right, where the only time he thought of you was when you came up on the screen. Right. If he thought of you, if it was out of the blue and he was like, listen, I'm traveling in and out, but I've actually been thinking about our dates. Let's get drinks this week. I'm back in town. That's a totally different scenario than you came on his screen and he was like, wow. To me, it's the same as, like, we talked about TikTok in the beginning. When you scroll TikTok, it's just like chick dancing, chick dancing, chick dancing. Every few chicks, you go, who's this chick? And you look into it a little more. I wasn't I wasn't a fan of theirs. I was just like, who's it? Oh shit, she popped up on my screen.
Yeah. And so I think that's probably the best way to look at this is, realistically, he wasn't thinking about you, sis. And he's still not thinking about you to the degree that you're thinking about him now and writing emails about it.
Yeah, so, you don't go ahead. I'm sorry. What was that?
I said she's got to let this one go. He's already gone.
Do you want to marry someone who, if they gave their wedding speech or whatever speech they would give at a wedding, said, I knew that she was the one when she popped up on my screen for the 5th time?
Yeah.